Oh. 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 Sairam, everyone. Just to recollect and what we discussed last week, Swami was talking about the gurus who are bent on collecting money for the variety of reasons. And I think the last reason which we discussed was gurus who want to build ashrams, collecting money, thinking that it is needed. And Swami says if the gurus focus on helping the disciples build and enjoy their ananda, the goal of their spiritual seeking, then on their own, they will look after the building of the ashram or the expansion of the ashram. So the gurus not necessarily have to focus on the money. Gurus have to focus on what they have set out to do and why the disciples have come to it. So Swami says, if they do that, then the ashrams will grow as needed, and they'll be grown by the disciples themselves. I think this is what we were discussing. There's no need for any struggle that the disciples will do on their own accord. I think that's what we discussed. So with those words, I think we can continue to read on. Sister Kalyani, please.
Bhakta, what are the qualities of those great men, Swami? Swami, they will not have the craving for wealth, nor the ambition to develop their ashrams. They will neither love those who praise them, nor hate those who blame them. They will not prevent their disciples from approaching them. They will not prohibit anyone from approaching them. They will look upon all with equal love. They will not relish the defamation of others. They will not be vengeful against those who point out to them their own mistakes and wrongs. They will always spread Satya, Dharma, Shanti, and Prema. They will ever yearn for the joy, welfare, and progress of the devotees. Seek such persons. They are the true gurus. Do not even cast a glance at those who are afflicted with anger, anxiety, hatred, envy, etc., or those worrying about name and fame and honor and status, however pompous their personality, however resounding their reputation.
So I think it's because sometimes what happens is gurus have, in an order to grow their own ashrams or their following, they do take up many strategies of how to keep the people from leaving them, or how to, or discarding some people who approach them. So variety of things which they do. And Swami says, that's all incorrect approach. So Swami is giving the qualification of who the great people are. Swami says they will not have wealth, crave for wealth. They will not have any ambition to expand their following or develop. They will neither love those who praise them nor hate those who blame them. Because I think, whoever sees value in them will continue to follow them. And I think that's what Swami is saying. So I will stop here and open it up for any discussion. Saira. Okay. I don't know whether, I think it's pretty straightforward, I guess. If there are no comments, we could continue on. If anyone would like to come back, we can always come back. Sai Ram Kalyan. You are muted, Kalyani.
Sorry about that. Bhakta. All right, Swami, it is all very good, but just one little doubt. These big gurus, highly learned, giving long lectures for hours together, how is it that they do not realize all this? Cannot these big men see their faults themselves and set them right? Swami, well, even an ounce of experience is useful, but a ton of learning may prove useless. Many people lecture in colleges and pour forth hour after hour things they have learnt by rote. Can one become great by merely the length or grandeur of his lectures? That is like vomiting the swallowed meal. You must see how much of what is spoken is practiced. Those who give advice must follow it themselves. If you cannot avoid doing a thing, do not ask others to avoid it. So, however learned a person may be, unless he has experience and practice, it will simply be a 9 days wonder, and after that he will be neither here nor there. Of course, the qualities I mentioned are to be noted, not merely in the gurus, but in all. So give up this talk about others being bad or wrong. Develop your faith and devotion. Strengthen your discipline for meditation on the Lord. Engage yourself in beneficial deeds. Speak only what will bring good. Worship the Lord. Keep him ever in the memory. Do japam and dhyanam. If you are immersed in these, you will not worry at all about the right and wrong of others.
Okay, thank you very much. Then, so I think Swami is continuing on. I think the question is, why don't they realize? And then Swami is, I think he's talking about practice. And Swami is talking about people who ask their followers to do something, but they themselves are not following. You can say love everyone, but if the person is not loving, then should we follow that person is a question. These are things which, and then Swami is making a subtle point. This is not only about gurus. Do the same thing with everyone else also, because whether even sometimes we follow gurus, sometimes we follow somebody else who seems to be holding a position or holding something, or has a large following, and we think we should follow them. Swami, I think, is warning the devotees or the followers that think clearly, because the reality is we can, like, people can give lectures, do anything, very impressive, but Swami says it will not last. So I think, because that's what Swami says, so give up this talk about others, develop your faith and devotion. Okay. Strengthen your discipline for the meditation on the Lord. So I think these are some things which Swami is, worship the Lord, keep him ever in your memory, do japam, dhyanam. If you immersed in this, you will not worry about right or wrong about other things. I think Swami is not only talking about gurus, anyone who is following a spiritual path, they should not worry. They should be very clear about their own goal, and they should not follow people who may be giving advice, but they are not themselves following it. So I think those are things which I thought I saw. I will open it up for discussion, please. Anyone can share your thoughts, Saira.
When in the last line where Swami is saying, you will not worry at all about the right or wrong of others, is he also implying that we don't necessarily need to worry about the right or wrong of the world? Or because sometimes there's all these, like, I guess, like, we're always trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong in different situations and dilemmas. And so is it not really important to worry about the right or wrong of the world? Like even in the Ramakatha Rasavahini, so, Swami was saying how like Kumbhakarna, without doing any japam or dhyanam, he attained Rama because I don't know why, but he killed Kumbhakarna and he was able to merge in the Lord. So like even though he was on the wrong side or the bad side, he was able to achieve that ultimate goal. So is it really not very important what's right and wrong in the world? Like even if people who we think may be on the wrong side, maybe that's the right side for them, or that's the part that they have to play.
Just to mention, I think, about attaining the Lord, is that what you said? You read in Ramakatha Swami? I think I will have to go back and check that. Okay.
Yeah, I can try to find the thing online.
Yes. Yeah, because sometimes, the translations can be very misleading.
Oh,
Because
okay.
why? Because attaining the Lord means, see, the thing is, even the people who hated Krishna or Rama, because they hated him so much, the Lord himself came and destroyed them. And as a result, there was some a type of meditation which they engaged in, because they actually thought of the Lord more than even a devotee would, because they hated him so much. So because of that, there is some affinity. So that is why they got even the darshan, and the interaction happens only because they meditated so firmly because of their anger or negative qualities. So so what it proves is, if we think about somebody so bad, angrily all the time, they will also come to you. We will attract them also. So Swami is, so that's why Swami is saying, don't worry about other people, because sometimes what happens to us is, we want, we attach to people. So we want them also to follow along where we are going. Or sometimes we don't like somebody, and then we think about that also, that they are wrong. So Swami does not want us to engage in any of such thoughts. He says, I think that's my understanding. I will open it up for discussion. Sairam.
Brother, one more thing, brother, in this same paragraph, it will be simply a 9 days wonder. What is that referred with that, please? That also, if you clarify, then you can discuss a little more.
I think I don't know, Mani Auntie is here. Mani Auntie.
Yeah. Coming.
Yes, Auntie.
In Telugu, we say, Mood Nalla Muchata. Pendli Mood Nalla Muchata. They were saying, it's a matter of few days, then that fascination, the fantasy, everything goes away. It's only in a few days we are interested in something, and then gradually we lose interest in it. That's how Swami is saying, 9 days wonder. Tamil, I don't know what they say. Pendli Mood Nalla Muchata, in Telugu they say.
Okay.
When they get married, only for 3 days, the fascination for wife and other things, everything is new for the person. Afterwards, it fades away. So that's how it is saying. It is said in Telugu.
Okay, good.
I think he refers to that only.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot, Auntie.
Sairam, brother. Swami said, whatever happening in the world, any destruction, anything happening wrong, don't involve in that one. Don't look at that one. If you look at that one, you are not going to be peace. You are not going to be control your mind. You will be distracted. So don't involve in this one. And the Kumbhakarna thing, even Mahabharata, whoever involved in the war, so Krishna said, whoever thinking about me, they all will merge with me. Doesn't matter Kumbhakarna or Ravana. Eventually, even though they did bad, even though they fight, But whoever thinking about me that time, they all will merge with me. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to?
Yeah, Sai Ram, brother, my name's Anita, and I
Yes,
just
sister.
wanted to say that I think because we are all on a different path towards Lord, right? So we are all at different stages in life. So like suppose we are sitting in a satsang and one besides me, the other one besides me, we are all having a different vibration between us and the Lord, and that's why like I cannot say like the person next to me is having more enjoyment from the bhajans and I could be having less, because that's how deeply involved one person could be. And that's why, like, not to get involved in other people's business, because we're all on different paths in life, I think.
Yes. Thank you very much, sister.
Thanks, just a thought.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to share anything?
Brother, the right or wrong also depends on what position are you in. Also matters, right? That is will come as a part of your duty to do sometime.
Yes.
So in that case, you have to analyze it. But if it's not to your duty, I think duty will define whether I have to look at it or not. That's the way my thought process goes on to look at it right or wrong. Thank you, Saira.
Okay. Thank you.
When one person is completely immersed in japam and dhyanam, where is the time for him to worry about right and wrong of others? I mean. So the Swami is saying the same thing. Do japam and dhyanam. If you are immersed in these, you will not worry about others, the right and wrong of others. Sairam.
Okay. Thank you very much, Auntie. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts? So I hope everyone is okay with all the questions and answers. I think I'll just address Sister Kalyani's question. She's asking about Kumbhakarna. Yes, I took a look at it. Yeah, Swami is talking about mergence, but I think, Swami says there was some light which arose from him and merged in Rama. Swami has spoken about this, people like Shishupala, Kamsa, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, who were killed by the Lord. See, whether we understand it or not, because of the hatred, they incessantly thought about the Lord. And the Lord himself was there when they were dying. They saw the Lord and then they died. So, the thought of the Lord was there, whether it was with love or hatred or anger. They were blessed. And that we should understand. But not everyone who is bad gets that blessing. Because we should know that they were in their previous life.
Yeah, Jaya and Vijaya.
Yeah, they were the gatekeepers of Vishnu. So there was some devotion in them. And it's only the blessing which the Lord gave. You will be born, you will be bad people, and I will come and slay you, and then you can come back.
Yeah.
So that was a blessing given to them. Not everyone who is bad is blessed to be like that. So they.
That's correct.
So we should understand the circumstances of Kumbhakarna, Ravana, Kamsa, Shishupala, all of them were slightly different because
Shishupala Dantavakra. The other one
Dantavakra,
was
sorry, Shishupala
Dantavakra.
Dantavakra.
Ravana, Kumbhakarna.
Hiranyakashipu,
Dantavakra.
Hiranyaksha.
Three births as demons they had, as enemies of the Lord, Vishnu.
So it's also believed that Kumbhakarna was born again, as Dantavakra, as Auntie pointed out. So I hope that answers, Kalyani, your question. But I think we can discuss. Somebody said Kumbhakarna was in meditation all the time. Yes, it's a meditation. Whether maybe the feeling was slightly. Swami says, don't try that. Swami is, I think, in one discourse he said, just because those fellows attain, don't try that, because that's much more a difficult path.
True.
So, Anyone else has something to say, please?
Even though they hated Bhagawan, they were constantly thinking about them. All these demons, like, Ravana, even Ravana merged with Rama. So all these people, they constantly meditating upon, not only exactly meditating, but they were thinking how to vanquish, how to defeat this Vishnu. That was their aim in their life. So in a negative way, of course, they were thinking of God. That's all we can say that. Saira.
Sairam, brother, only one little thought in here. At the end of this passage, Swami said, speak only what will bring good. But when we start the conversation or something, we don't know whether that will bring good or bad. Only at the end, we would come to know whether that brings good or bad. So I know what Swami meant in here, but as an ordinary person, any person, or even the spiritual sadhakas, when they speak something, they would have, they openly, with a good heart, they would have started the conversation, maybe with Swami's will, or whatever the circumstances, it may bring bad things. In that case, whether we shouldn't talk anything at all, or whether with Swamis in mind, whatever the outcome, good or bad, you just speak it. I just thought about that one. Swami says, speak only what will bring good, but we don't know whether that will bring good or bad. When we initially starting the conversation, I may think I'm going to have a good conversation with Sister Kalyani, and Sister Kalyani may take, okay, Auntie has told something really bad to me.
Okay, sister, I will open it up for any comments. Sister Anand is asking, how do we manage the talk?
Yeah.
That it doesn't slide into something bad. And I think that's what she's asking. So I will open it up for anyone to comment, please, Saira.
Saira, Swami says our thoughts, words, and deeds should always be in harmony. So if our thought is always in pure and loving, our words will also be loving and good to hear, not hurting others. Thank you, Saira.
Okay, thank you very much. Saira, anyone else would like to comment, please?
Anandi, Sister Anandi, when our intention is good, when we are starting the conversation, then whatever is outcome, you leave it to Swami. That's all we can do, right? Our intention is supposed to be good. As Surya Kumar said, our words, thoughts, and deeds need to be synchronized, and our intentions are good, then you never know how the other side will take it. But that is, then you have to leave it to Swami. That's the way I will take it. Thanks, Sairam.
Thank you, sister.
Saram, and Metikane Trapana Kuttam Kuttame. That's a you can point out what is wrong on that spot. That's not bad. Thanks, Saira.
Saira, anyone else would like to share any thoughts? Okay, Sairam and Sister Ananthi, I don't know whether you're satisfied with the answers. I think you are right. Swami, that's why Swami advises that we should not talk too much also. I think that will reduce the issues which we encounter. Only speak as needed. The rest of the time, just not speak. I think that's one advice Swami gives. Yes, you are right. Sometimes we can easily slide into something which is not so positive, and I think we should catch ourselves and then at least stop at that point in time, because there's no good coming out of it. So Swami, earlier on also Swami, so give up this talk about others being bad or wrong. So Swami knows that, there's a chance. So Swami says, give it up. So whenever you realize, just give it up. I think that's all we can do. We can be vigilant. I cannot say anything else.
We can sense the other person's reaction when we talk. So when we know that that's going wrong in a wrong way, better to redirect the conversation in a different way, or we can explain to the person what the intention was, as you said. Yeah, it's likely that, sometimes the other person takes it in a different way when we say something. But when we know that the other person is on little sensitive about all the things what we are telling them, we can immediately stop or redirect our conversation in a different way. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Manibashyam. Because we have to really observe what the other person reaction, and if you feel that that person doesn't like then either go to a different direction, or be silent. That's why Swami also reiterated maybe the silence fasting. That's the best fasting compared to all other fasting. But recently I came to know it's like a physical diet. There is a mental diet too. We all really care about the physical, health and the physical diet and everything. I really got that point. It's a mental diet. These days we are very, they put so many things into our mind, and we are mentally really fat. Going all over the different sensations, and bring too many things into the mental side. And I recently learned about the mental diet. We all should be kind of doing the mental diet in order to come to the sattvic mode. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. So I think we could, Sister Kalyani, maybe we can advance.
Bhakta, Swami, you explained the relationship of the Guru and the Shishya, an aspiring disciple. Looking at present conditions, he who reveals the reality is not liked at all. Many of the Gurus, Swamis, and Sadhus are, as you said, behaving wrongly and in many ways ruining their very name. Besides, they are acting contrary to the vows of sannyasa and the dharma relating to the Lord. Such people may not appreciate your statements. They may even develop animosity for your laying bare their defects. Or, what is worse, they may try to justify their conduct and invent stories and arguments to make their actions appear correct. Your remarks apply only to the wrongdoers. They do not refer to those who are engaged in good activities. So really good sadhus and those interested in upholding the ideas will be happy that you have spoken thus. But regardless of what people might say, please, Swami, help sadhakas to progress and reveal to us the glory of the Lord.
You can read the next one also, I think, that response.
Swami, well, what does it matter to me how people talk? How can falsehood be supported, fearing comment? As the burden, so the bearer, says the proverb. Only fakes will resent and comment adversely. The genuine gurus will rejoice. Only a thief will feel his shoulder when someone announces the theft of a gourd, as the saying goes, because he is afraid whether at the time he has the stolen gourd actually on his shoulders. Those who do not steal gourds will not feel their shoulders. Those who are genuine will have no fear or anger. The others can learn a lesson if they develop a sense of shame and resolve to mend their ways, at least hereafter. For deeds done in ignorance, repentance is the way to make amends and to earn pardon. Not to repeat the same deed is the sign of the morally strong.
So here Swami is, Swami is telling, when something which is false has to be pointed out, you have to point that out. And don't worry about the fear, people, there are comments, people blame you, say anything adversely, it doesn't matter. Because it should not affect you, it should not bother you, because you just say what's the fact, and then whatever people do, or if there's anger or fear, just don't be affected by it, Swami says. So I think those are the words which I understand. So I will open it up for discussion, please. Anyone can share your thoughts. Right.
Swami is in Telugu.
Yes, sir.
Yatharthavadi loka virodhi. The one who says truth is always hated by others. When you come out with truth, people don't like it. Even in Kannada we say Khanditavadi Bahujana Virodhi. The one who says the truth is always not liked by people. So Swami is saying, don't worry about such people. They're not, as a guru, he should not worry about all this name and fame there. Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you.
I think we discussed about that stolen gourd on the back in Sandeha Nivarini with children, with other. Yeah, correct. Sairam.
Sairam. Because I think it's pretty straightforward and clear, so I think there's no comments.
Brother, this is a good point. Swami has pointed out. If you are genuine, there won't be any fear or anger. So that's it's a person who is speaking the truth. If he feels that, then I think they don't need to worry about other comments. Just I wanted to emphasize that. Thank you.
Sairam, sister Sairam.
Sairam, is there any more explanation to the third line? As the burden, so the bearer, says the proverb.
So the thing is, here the burden is, Auntie, if you want to read the Telugu. I think we don't have Auntie.
Mani Auntie is there?
Here, I am here.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, it is 16th chapter in Telugu, Arun.
Yes, Auntie.
So,
at the end of the chapter, Auntie.
End of the chapter. This is in Telugu, it is 16, but actually in English it is 15.
Okay.
15 last paragraph, I think.
Yes, it's 15 last paragraph in English.
Yeah, in English. That's what I read it, no? Bearer, as the burden, so the bearer. That's what she was asking, no?
Yes. What is the proverb, Auntie?
Yatharthavadi loka virodhi.
That's what it says?
Yeah, that's it. It says. Swami Guru Shishyalu yokka nadavadalu chakkaga telpitiri.
Oh, this Swami's, Auntie, this Swami's section.
Swami's section. Wait. ఎవరేమనుకున్నా నాకేమి అనుకుందరేమో అని అబద్ధము ఎట్ట చెప్పుట గంతకు తగిన బంత. You remember that?
Yes, Auntie. Oh, that's what it is.
కంతకు తగిన బంత.
Okay.
Bearer a burden.
Okay. So what? Ganta in Tamil we'll say kandai. You know.
Kandal.
Yeah, kandal or kandal. See, the thing is, any rags, clothes of rag. Bonta is the mattress or anything which you fill. So if you have a mattress or some cushion which is filled with the rags, the quality of that cushion will be that of the rag which you have filled it in. Okay. So that's what it is, Swami is saying. It's like you can see the birds of the same feather flock together. You know, these type of arguments also. But you know, it's you cannot get in.
Whatever you have done, you will have to bear it. That's it. Whatever you have done, you will have to bear. The burden is it depends on the bearer to as the burden, so the bearer, Swami is saying.
Yes. Okay. You know, the raw materials decide what the output is, you know, or that sort of thing. Okay, then we can move on, Mr. Kalyani. I think there's no comment.
I think previously in Sandeha Nivarini, Swami said you should never say sorry for any mistake you commit. But here he's saying you should repent. So is there a difference between?
Where did he say that?
No, it was a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember too. Yeah.
So I think what Swami is, I think I remember discussing that. I think what Swami says is repentance is realizing one's fault and deciding that you will not commit it again. I think that's the same thing which Swami is telling, because what he says sorry is, and Swami says there's no point in you telling sorry. Don't feel sorry, just find out what the mistake was. Next time, don't repeat it. So I think repentance is nothing about feeling guilty and, you know, so I think it's just a positive sense is what I understand. Even there, I think Swami is more or less same thing. See, Swami says repentance is the way to make amends to earn pardon. So the thing is, saying sorry is just words. But Swami says if we correct ourselves and fix the problem, then we become qualified for pardon. So I think Swami wants us to make amends through action than just feeling sorry about something. That's what I understand.
In Telugu also Swami says, తెలియక చేసిన వానికి నిజమైన పశ్చాత్తాపమే ప్రాయశ్చిత్తము. తరువాత అట్టివి చేయకుండట నీతి లక్షణము. Yeah, repentance meaning here Swami is giving.
Yes.
Paschatap, feel regret about it. Yeah, Sai Ram.
Not making the same mistake again is more than saying sorry.
So yes. Sai Ram, brother, I can remember that one, whatever we discussed last time. If one politician did some sexual harassment and he will say sorry and he's not going to repent. So after that, he's going to make the same mistake. So that's the meaning of sorry. There's a possibility of doing again. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to say anything?
Sai Ram, I meant to say it is more important not repeating the same mistake than saying sorry. What is the point saying sorry and keep repeating the mistake, right? So that's more important, I guess. That's what I meant to say. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, brother.
So just one question, I guess for Swami, obviously Swami will know the truth of everything. So Swami can speak the truth and, not be bothered about what other people think or say. But for the average person, how do we know that what we are saying is the truth? There's always two sides to every story. It just seems like it's hard to form an opinion on anything or to come to understand that there's a completely right side to anything. I feel like there's always good and bad in every decision, so nobody else other than Swami would know the complete truth.
Okay, that's a good question, sister. I will open it up for discussion. How do we know? So is what Kalyani is saying is Swami knows what is truth, what is not right. Then what about us? Does it apply to us? And how will we know what is truth? Because there's always two sides and so on. So I will open it up for discussion. Anyone has something to say?
So Sairam brother, I've seen in my life two gurus. They're not a follower, but I happen to see them in some occasions. I went to one of the satsangam to meet somebody. So that is one of my friends' home. So they normally do the bhajans, Swami's bhajan and everything. There's a big photo with the Sathya Swami's photo, Sathya Sai Baba. Then later, and the guru comes with orange that cloth and everything. He's not married and everything. She bring the Vedas and he talks. Some followers are there too. So suddenly he removed that Bhagawan picture. He put his photo. So then you have to realize that is wrong. Then another place, another guru, very famous guru in India. I happened to see him in a satsang. After the bhajans finished and everything, the prasadam was served. He asked for salt inside the prasadam. Salt is not enough. So this kind of activities, this kind of knowledge, when you have this is wrong, then you can identify them. The gurus, they are even the small thing you can easily identify. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
Sairam Dasan, where do you see the first scenery?
It's all in Canada, all in Toronto. So one person came from India. He's you can see a lot of about him on the YouTube. I don't want to mention the name. And second one, he's in Scarborough too. And he's still, they're still doing the same thing, but I don't want to mention the names or anything. So that's what followers, we have to be very careful. But the people who are going to Sai centers, they have some knowledge because of the study circle and everything, easily identified. But other innocent people are very, very tough for them. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, brother. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
Sairam,
I think what Kalyani said that's relevant to both aspects. And Swami, as he is divine, he doesn't have to bother about anyone's opinion. And also, as he is divine, he is omniscient, so he knows who is genuine and who is not, and all that. But as average human being, we have to be very, very careful, and we have to take our own time to our home. To analyze, and so we shouldn't be jumped to conclusions about anyone. That's one thing. But all we can do is do a genuine research and try to find out. The other thing is, as average human beings, we we have to say who is right or who is genuine and who is not, all that, if it is necessary, utmost necessary. Otherwise, we can, it all depends, we have to use our discretion. But a Swami doesn't have to worry about these things. That is an important thing. Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to say anything?
Sairam, I don't know if it's truth or untruth. It's more a question whether it's right or not right. So each individual has their own way of looking at things. But, there is, of course, we all have that common sense. And if I'm wrong, I think I read or I live on before I use my spiritual sense, I use my common sense. And also if I do not, I've seen a situation, when I see the situation and I'm not selfish, that it's going to be in my favor, then of course it's not right. But if I see that's good for other people, and in general it's good for other people, then I see that's the right way. But when I'm not sure, I just keep quiet and ask for his grace to, give me wisdom, give me vision to see things right. But then as Uncle said, then, we are not in a space of saying something, but if there is no selfish intake in that, then definitely, if for my common sense, if I see this is good for the mankind, this is good for other people, then definitely there is no harm to say it and put your words there. That's how I see. Maybe there's something I can learn from this group as well.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else would like to say anything?
Sairam, if I can add, we continuously pray to Swami for Tirikarana Sutti, purity in our thoughts, purity in our words and deeds. We should always pray to God like Swami, always give us good thoughts, words and deeds. Thank you, Sairam.
So the reason, Sairam brother, the reason is we are going to see a guru. The important thing is to remove our impulses, desires, sins, and other three gunas, how we can get rid of that one to merge with the God. If the guru is not walking on the path, so what's the point in following him? So that's what the knowledge is very, very important. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else? So maybe I think Kalyan, you brought up a good point. I think that you used the word two sides to the story. So what Swami says is, there are many people who come to me after reading a book. There are many people who come to me after talking to somebody. Then the same people leave me after reading a book. The same people leave me after listening to somebody. So they are not my devotees. They are devotees of the book, or they are devotees of the person who spoke. The thing is, sometimes we do not necessarily develop the conviction. We do not necessarily develop the personal experience. We are always relying on somebody. And whether we like it or not, when we rely on somebody, we are following them. It is a very, very important part. See, that is why, why do we think why Swami is spending so much time talking about it? This entire chapter is about that. See, the thing is, we should ask very basic questions. He says, don't follow somebody who is saying something and they are not following. If somebody says, you love everyone, but that person is showing that they are not loving, then there's a problem. Somebody says, be united. That person cannot be united. Then there's some fundamental problem, fundamental. So the thing is, all our choices we make is only towards the Lord. Okay. Sometimes what happens, we get carried away because attachment is a big thing. People cannot leave home because we don't want to leave family. We think it's love. We love our family, so we can't leave. I won't go, So it is that kind of, sometimes we ourselves fool ourselves, thinking we need the Lord. No one can come in the way. It's the way a devotee will. That is why Swami is saying, if we cannot apply. See, the thing is, I think you said two story. I think we are all talking about the current situation. So I think I will just call it out. Okay. There's no need for beating around the bush. For example, we don't need to look at the other side. Are we following the person who we are following? Is that person whom we want to follow? Are we going to take the directions from that person? If we are convinced, then we follow. See, the other side comes, then if this person is no good, don't follow this person. If the other person is no good, don't follow that person. Then you say, what I'm going to follow. So this is the fundamental question which everyone is faced with. Okay. I'm not saying this or that. Each person has to evaluate for themselves. Here's a person. So let's not look at two sides of the story. Let's look at each story independently. So you go to one story and say, do I want to follow this story? Not, then I'm not going to follow. Very, very simple. We go to the another opportunity or choice. There also it's not, then you don't. Then you have to choose something. You say, I will go to the God directly. So I think we have to choose each guru independently. Each person who decide to follow, we should do it independently, not about somebody else, not about this person telling about somebody else. So I would say, is this person saying the right things? Are they speaking the facts? Are they speaking the truth? Are they practicing what they're preaching? These are questions which can be easily asked. But if we do not, no one is, so I will say, you follow whatever, I am not, each person has to go and find out for themselves in their own heart. But the problem is, if we are not clear, I think we started, if you take Sandeha Nivarini first chapter, Swami actually starts with this, because the disciple is saying, I went to somebody and somebody gave me a mantra. Now I have lost the faith in the mantra, I have lost the faith in the practice, I have lost faith in the guru. Then he says, you didn't evaluate. Okay, we started the Sandeha Nivarini with that. And Swami has again come back to this. Okay, if someone, a guru will be able to face anyone and answer any questions they have. If, they should be open. They should not be afraid. Okay, so there are many factors come into place. I will leave it at that. I think each of us can make the choices, make the decisions, because I think Swami, otherwise, we have read Swami. So the thing is, let us not worry about this side story, that side story. When we decide that we are going to follow somebody who says, follow me and I will take you, we have to be very clear, are we following the right person? If you're not sure, we'll find out, we will take our time, then we take our time. It's like sadhana, time is all dependent on what we do. So clarity is very, very important. Clarity. It's not about people or anything. We should go directly to connect to the Lord. If we can connect to the Lord, I think we discussed this. If a train is going to a certain destination, if you've gotten into the train and if the train is saying, I'm not sure whether I'm going to go to the destination, you would get off and get into a train which will take you to the destination where you want to go. You are not worried about the fellow who is driving the train. Is the train no good? Things like that. So we should not depend on people. If you're convinced about a path, stick to it. I think I will say that. I am not going to say anything more further. So clarity is very, very important for any sadhaka. Otherwise, we will not progress in spirituality. That is why Swami is spending so much time. And I think people can again read this last 3 question and answers and evaluate anything which they choose based on that. Based on that, because see, whatever people say, we cannot, we have to see the action. As Swami has said, people can quote from anywhere and speak, but action is what matters. With that, I will stop here. I shouldn't influence anyone, but I will move on.
It does make sense, brother, as you are saying, because most of the time we have to sit and understand. There's a beautiful line in this thing: those who are genuine will have no fear or anger. So that's what we have to see. Am I fearful to follow somebody? Am I because I have some fear? Or am I angry because I want to go against somebody or in favor of? So these 2 words, if I don't have any fear or no anger, I think we will be more wiser in seeing things. And as you said, the clarity will be there, because I have to see, am I fearful of the situation, of a person, or or there is some gain, my personal gain. So I can see how Swami is unfolding each line so beautifully, that if you have no fear and anger, you will see the clarity. Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam, in addition to that, we are following. We have to know what Swami likes to, right? So that focus also supposed to be there. So when you are following, okay, but on the same time, we have to keep in our mind what Swami likes us to do. So that will give the strength. And as we discussed now, that will take away the fear and anger. So we had to focus on Swami only. There are a lot of information, but too many information also confuse you. But it's better to focus on Swami.
Okay, sister. I think I don't want to derail the study circle. We'll move on if it's okay.
Chapter 16, Bhakta. Swami, I have a few doubts concerning the subject of dhyana, which you are now writing about. Can I ask you? Swami, of course. You can ask and have your doubts removed. It is good for you, and it gives me joy. Bhakta. Some people practice dhyana, but they are unable to know whether the dhyana has progressed or not. What do you say about that? Swami. Progress in dhyana means the attainment of ekagrata, concentration. Each one can judge for himself without doubt how far he has been able to succeed in concentration, can't he?
Okay, thank you very much, sister. I think because we are reading Dhyana Vahini and this together, Swami is helping out here also, I guess. I think progress is something which always people are concerned about. So Swami is talking about concentration. I think we discussed that there also. I think Swami is talking about dhyana dharana. I think that was the word which we discussed, which is concentration, ekagrata. So I will open it up for discussion. If there's anything which anyone would like to discuss. Maybe we can need the next slide also, sister, because I think it's...
Bhakta. Some say that they see all sorts of things during dhyana. Some hear all types of sounds. Do these indicate progress? Swami. They are delusions. They handicap progress. They implant conceit and disperse concentration. The distraction of sights and sounds is no sign of dhyanam. Bhakta. Then what is to be done when such are seen? Swami, don't allow the mind to wander onto them. Never lose sight of the divine form which you have pictured for yourself. Be convinced that these are but obstacles designed to scatter your attention from the divine form. If you permit these sights and sounds to creep in, the original form will be dimmed, your ahamkara will increase, and you will lose your way.
Thank you very much. So I think both these slides talk about meditation, progress, and people are always worried about them. And there are many who teach meditation of various kinds. They talk about different sounds, different experiences, and so on. And Swami says they are all delusions. They actually take you away from the final goal of dhyana itself, and we will be distracted from that. So I will stop here. I will open it up for any discussion, please. Sai.
So, Sairam, brother, I like the last word, ahamkara. So, when you are meditate, when you are on the dhyana, you focus on one form, whatever you like. Then you might get the experience sometime. Okay, when you get the experience, don't get excited. Move on until you merge with the God. Between that one, everything delusions. So you have to be careful. That's what Shastra is saying. You have to, until you merge with the God, your progress has to be move on. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much, brother. So, anyone else would like to speak?
Saira, Samuel Sandweiss is one of the books. I am not sure about the name of the book, Spirit and Mind or some other book. In the annexure, he put the question, Bhagawan is answering. So he's asking all these type of things. Some people hear the sound of conch, some people hear the sound of bell, and some see the light and everything. Baba is saying that skip it, it should be skipped. Don't get distracted by this sound or sight. So the similar thing is coming here too. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Sairam, at least even those stages, we may encounter maybe some sort of light, so the sounds, if we know those are the maybe preliminary stages or maybe different stages to reach the destination or goal, then only we can overcome those stages and get into our destination. So in my personal view, at least if I know these are the stages, we shouldn't stop in that stage, and we shouldn't boost ourselves with the egoistic thought and those things. That's very right, and Swami's advice, with the well-set advice and godly advice. But at least if we know, then only we can pass those stages and reach the destination. Maybe each and every person's experience, it could be unique and very different. But at least we know these are the maybe passing clouds, so to reach the moon kind of. That's why I thought even Swami said we shouldn't, those are illusion, but at least we know that these are the stages we may need to pass. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Brother, here Swami says a nice word. They are delusion. They handicap process, okay? These kind of like whatever the things now, you hear those things, you shouldn't be affected with that. So your dhyana is supposed to be with Swami and you. So these kind of things, Swami says, hearing this type of sound, it's you have to treat as something that is something you don't need to hear them even. So your focus, the concentration, supposed to be there. So anything you can overcome with that. Dhyana will help with that. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. If there's no further discussion, I will go to the next slide.
Bhakta, but Swami, some people do say that these things are signs of progress in dhyana. Swami, that only means that they themselves are not practicing dhyana properly. Besides, not knowing what dhyana is, they delude their disciples also by talking like this to please them. That is the only profit earned. Bhakta, well, what does it mean then that by means of dhyana we cannot see the Lord? Swami, why not? Certainly it is possible. If you fix your attention on the sublimely beautiful form of the Lord and concentrate on that alone, you will receive His grace in that form itself in various ways. While doing so, many a disturbance might intervene. You should not be deluded. Be on your guard. Never forget the auspicious form. Picture to yourself that all creation is immersed in it.
Thank you very much, sister. So Swami is again talking about distractions. People saying what you are seeing is a real thing. You are making progress and so on. And then Swami says that means that those people themselves are not doing what they are doing. So I will stop here and I will open it up for discussion.
Sairam, brother, why do these distractions come in? First of all, if these distractions are not real, why these distractions come to our, when we meditate or something to cheat us, to pull us down, or how do these happen? If these are not real in the everything, then why these things happen to us? As a genuine, the meditating people, when we meditate, with a good mind, a good thought, word, and deed, we really want to focus and meditate. Then why these things come into and pull us down?
Thank you very much, sister. The sister is asking, why do these things come? Why do they come? Yes, please.
It is because of the desire and attachment. It's not completely out of the person. Even the Baba saying, when you meditate on the form, you're going to see, eventually you're going to see the God. Between that, you can go to trance, you can go a different level. But until that last goal, between that, all kind of things going to come, but you have to be firm with that one until you are merging with the God. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
So at the same time, brother, that form, whatever the God is going to appear eventually, that also will disappear. That's called Baba Swami saying that's a nirvana stage. So that's the time after that only that you will go under the merging stage. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
Sairam, Ramana Maharshi said about this one, because we are going from physical to subtle, subtle to causal. So when the concentration progresses, when we go from one plane to the other, from physical to say physical to subtle, and so he said there's a friction. There's a friction. That friction brings this light and those things. So he finally said, during this time, you have to ask, who am I? Ask that question, who am I? And don't get deluded in this path. And then you will know that you are that Brahman. That's what I read it as he said. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, a question. Just wondering. So if we start doing dhyana or meditation, the first step is concentration. Should we have a focus that we will see his picture, or that should Swami's picture should help us to concentrate? But is it okay to think that if I improve in my meditation, I will see Swami, or it should be more, meditation will help me to be more peaceful and to, when I come out of it, even though I might be a beginner, but whenever I sit and imagine his form, but when I come out of it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I should be much more peaceful, or my aim should be, my progress will show that Swami will appear, or I don't know if I'm able to express, but should we have an aim of dhyana, or it should be more inner peace? I don't know.
Very good point, sister. Very good point. So I will open it up for the sisters asking, what should be the goal of the dhyana itself? Or how do we evaluate? Is our state of being peaceful is okay, or should we still continue to seek to see the Lord?
Continue until samadhi state.
What is it, brother?
Merge samadhi. Only in the true happiness is being with Swami, right? The bliss, the ananda state.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sai.
Anyone else would like to comment on that?
I guess Swami is talking about here to, as Brother Arno used to say, that Javasagita Rupatyanam, or the ultimate goal is Sakshatkara, so seeing the Lord, maybe, I don't know, and finally merges. So that is what he's talking here, I guess. But each one may have different goals, and so their meditation will be according to that. Sairam.
So
anyone? Yes, brother.
The reason is our birth is not to born again. So we have to achieve the goal. We don't want to, the body was given not to born again. So that's what we are reading the Shastras and everything. We have to try our best. Rest, leave it to the God. So dhyana, we taught, okay, you sit properly and focus on that form and say the namasvarana and meditate and meditate on that name. So eventually, Swami saying, you will see my form. What if you are thinking about me? That form eventually will disappear. Then you will samadhi stage. You'll go to the samadhi stage. That is the end. Thank you.
Sairam, brother. Thank you. So I think Sister Shivani brought up a very good point. I think other brothers have already said. So I'll just share what I think is. Sister, generally, the state of peace, once we have a state of, sudden, we go to everyone goes to bhajan, and at the end of the bhajan, they feel, sort of spiritual, and then we'll say, okay, today we got it, and then we come home. Then the life takes over, and then again we go to the bhajan, and again we come to that state. Or we do meditation and come to that state. And then generally people are complacent with that state. People are complacent. So what happens? It's like hearing a sound during meditation. You will meditate and suddenly you hear the sound, then you say, okay, meditation is progressing, and then you come out. So actually some of these, though they are byproducts, sometimes we are satisfied with them, we are complacent with them, and we do not progress. And I think the gurus and the people who want the following want you to be satisfied with that. They will say, didn't you hear the sound all these years? So just keep on listening to the sound. We will get somewhere. This because they want the people to be behind them, people to follow them. This is the tendency, because because that is where maybe they have reached. That's what Swami says, if the gurus are telling, they themselves are not practicing dhyana properly. Okay, they will say, see, I have practiced and I am like this, you do what I am doing. So you come with me. Don't, so this is the problem. Even following anyone, this is the problem. So if somebody says, just stick with me, don't, I will just, this is good enough. We have done the same thing for 15 years, we will do it for another 20 years. Okay. We should ask ourselves, how much have we progressed? What is this person teaching us? Am I making a progress? Not progress in the sense towards the Lord. Not in terms of how much peaceful I am feeling or anything like that. So those are questions I think Swami wants us to ask. Again, it's the same thing, which distraction. And when, so it's, I will again go back to the current situation. We all said, somebody comes and promises us, I will take you to Kailash. Okay, let's take Kailash. Okay, so we, the person charges some fees and we take a ride and we go with that person to Kailash. And then that person lands somewhere in Tibet and visa is not granted. And then the person will say, okay, you stick with me, I will somehow figure it out, we will go. And then at the same time, somebody else says, no, I have visas, I will give you the visa right now, you can come with me to Kailash. And if this person says, no, we have come together, just stay with me, let me find out. The thing is, if then we should know, this person also, if this person doesn't have visa, I also don't have visa. This person asks me, stick with me. That kind of situation means certain leaders want people following, they want following. If you are confident that this person is going to take, then you follow that person. It's the same thing here also. Dhyana, we have to be very, very clear where we are going. And we should be able to change cars, trains, whatever to get to the place. Okay, because distractions will come in many different ways. Because we say we went and did this much seva, photos are taken, put it in the website, we can talk about it, we are doing seva, we are doing sadhana, this many bhajans we attended, or even this many vahinis we read. All this actually is secondary to our final goal, who is the Lord. Seeing the Lord and merging with him is the final goal. I think that's what Swami says in Dhyana Vahini. And then Swami is talking about it here also. See, certainly it is possible. If you fix your attention on the sublimely beautiful form of the Lord and concentrate on that alone, you will receive his grace. Very, very simple. All great devotees have done this. So Swami is again telling, just do that. Don't follow anyone. For that matter, don't follow anyone. Just follow yourself and your Lord. I think that's instruction. With those, I think we'll pause here. It's 4:20. If I'll just pause for a few seconds, if anyone has any questions, otherwise we'll close with Samasta Loka. Okay, we'll close with Samasta Loka. Oh. समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति 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 Sai Ram everyone.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother.
Sai Ram.